Superior Court. And council, this is on page 37.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So I brought some copies for you. This actually is going to represent some big changes. The budget that I brought to you originally was very similar to the budgets that I have every year. The big change is going to affect Circuit Court and Superior Court, and it relates to technology needs. They're going to add $40,000 to our budget. Now, we put in originally $24,000, but Bill is here to explain what's going to be required. And Judge Medlock, I don't suppose he's had a chance to talk to you today yet, but he has actually run into the problems frequently that are going to necessitate that additional expenditure. So I do have a copy of everything for you, including what is amounting to an amended budget, raising that $24,000 technology number to 40, and so I can pass all those out. And then I have the paperwork from the technology company showing exactly what they're proposing to do for us. So if it's all right, I think I will just go ahead and start them at the end and ask you to pass those around so everybody does get one. Thanks. So, I don't know if you want to wait on that, or is there anything you want to talk about specifically before you see that paperwork?
Judge, it doesn't look like things have changed much, other than I do have a question about the pauper attorney and when it's speaking.
That's a big change that we'll all be talking about too. And over the years, you may remember that we did not have a separate budget line for the pauper attorney. Everything historically had come out of the circuit court budget,
Yes.
and so it has now been split out. And of course, as you know from past experience, you never know what the actual cost is going to be. And so it put us in a situation where there were times when we would have to come back and ask for more money. Although it was Judge Medlock who had to do that, he had no control over those things, and simply he was the person who, if there was heat to be taken for the cost of it, he was taking the heat. Although now, as it's developed, because we do the drug cases primarily in Superior Court, our criminal caseload has grown greatly over the past several years. And it's fair to say that most of the cost of pauper counsel relates to Superior Court cases, and it just doesn't make sense to leave that in solely the circuit budget any longer. The other thing I want to say, of course, is that I am in my last 6 months as judge, and so there will be a new judge, and because Dustin Couch is the only person who has announced for that, I've invited Dustin to review this and to see if there are things that he thinks needed to be changed or added. And at this point, I hope he'll mention it to you if he's thought of anything, but he did not ask to participate in making any changes to the budget.
So Judge, was there a reduction? Do you know if there's a reduction on circuit court for those fees?
I'm going to let circuit speak for themselves.
I'm sorry.
On the pauper counsel part of the budget, the fact that it's been broken into.
Last year, I believe, it was $275,000. It is going down, so we've asked to split it 100 for Superior, 100 for Circuit.
Okay,
So it should have gone down, I think, $75,000.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. That helps.
And of course, I do need to mention, of course, you were good enough last year to help us by adding that fourth employee,
Yes.
and we've had some additional turnover, and so it hasn't always been possible for us to be fully implemented with 4 people to see how that's going to work. In fact, we have a new employee who's working out so well, Carla from the clerk's office, and she had already trained over there, and so what we've said is that Carla should continue to help Stephanie by going back and forth as needed to train the new person, so that I think it's actually working out really well, and she's very smart and she's doing a great job for us. So again, at this point, we can't eliminate overtime, completely, because when we do criminal court, I think we had 70 something.
80.
70 or 80 cases scheduled Monday of last week. And so the girls, Evelyn worked, I know, at least until 6. Shirley works late, and I just appreciate how conscientious they are, but it takes it right now. And so I have to say that I suspect that whenever at the end of the year comes and I have a couple of employees that retire, then you're going to see the new judge also having some issues with employees having to learn the job a little bit, and it may take a little bit of overtime for them also.
So the position that we created, is that position filled, or is that vacant right now?
It is. It's
So
filled.
you are fully staffed at this point?
We're fully staffed,
Okay.
yes, and Carla is picking it up very quickly.
Okay. And how has that affected your workload and the morale within your office?
Well, she is taking on, a bigger and bigger share as she learns more about how to do it. And so I think it's worked out very well as far as that. And we have the same problems that other people do. I mean, we've had some COVID in the office, and Jennifer was out all of last week and is still not feeling too great, but she, worked hard Monday and so on. So it sure helps whenever you have the ability to have other people who are cross-trained, and that in effect is something that we've emphasized in making sure that we never miss a step. It's not like we throw up our hands and are helpless whenever somebody's out, and anyway, I just wanted to let you know that's worked out very well, and I appreciate you doing that for us. And that was the surprise in last year's budget. This year, I don't feel like we had any control over it, but I'm going to let Bill hopefully explain exactly why it's so expensive and what it is that they're proposing to do with these changes. And of course, it was bad enough, and I thought it was $40,000, and we were each going to have to spend 20, Circuit and us, but then to find out that Circuit's going to have to spend 40, and we're going to have to spend 40 to be able to get what we need to avoid interruptions during trials. It's just hard to understand how it can be that expensive, but I'm told by Bill that there's nothing in there that seems to be out of line. I will tell you, and I don't think I mentioned it last year, but I might have, that the equipment in the new building, of course, was, I guess, state-of-the-art, and not extravagant, but it was good equipment. And one of the monitors, the biggest monitor that the jury has to see when we make presentations, failed. So we checked into it, and one of the options ran like $3,000, one of them was $6,000. So I went to Walmart and bought one for $998 and bought a $167 warranty that will protect us if it fails again. I didn't do that without making sure with the company and with Bill that it would do the job, but it's apparently going to do the job that we need at a much lower cost. And for a warranty like that, isn't it a shame that a warranty didn't come with the big expensive equipment we had in the beginning?
So Judge, would you like Phil to come up and talk about
this? You ready to tell them what we know? Bill, you're welcome to sit. I'm more of a pacer.
Hello. So, I guess a little bit of history. Our AV system was 7 years old. The problems we've had have been related to the inputs and of the evidence. That equipment is a lot of equipment. It seems like all the problems are related to that. They are upgrading to Wolf Vision, which is more state-of-the-art, newer equipment, more compatible. I guess it's unfortunate that there's been so many problems, but it seems like whenever Circuit uses the equipment, there's been failures.
And this was the equipment that we purchased new with the Justice Center?
Yes.
Okay. And as you mentioned, there wasn't a warranty on one of the monitors, but is there a warranty or some sort of guarantee on those?
I think the equipment was under warranty, but manufacturer warranty is normally a year or a couple of years.
Okay.
Indianapolis, I think, got this same technology we're getting. I think they just purchased 100 or so. But I think the
Are you talking
problem
about their justice center?
in their courtrooms up there.
Okay.
Yep. I think the crux of it is this Alana equipment's been around for 25, 30 years. We're trying to use newer laptops, newer AV stuff, and that's been kind of the issue. We tested, you know, at lunch, right before the jury gets there, but seems like right when the jury sits down, that's when the problems erupt. Really, not a lot of logic to it. They have replaced several equipment. We've, actually the Alana equipment that we've replaced, we found had a lifetime warranty. So we had replaced 6 or 8 pieces through the process, but
And are
I
you
think it's
looking?
just the wrong technology and it was bad timing, I think.
Okay, and then for these items in particular that you have on this list, do any of them come with lifetime warranties? What is the guarantee?
I'm not sure, that list is from BIS, I think. I could find out about the warranty, but I think Wolf Vision is the best equipment out there, but I'm not sure about warranty.
Madam Chair, if I may ask a couple questions. So all this equipment that's currently there was installed when the building was built, so refresh my memory, how old would that be? 5 years old, 4 years old?
I don't know,
We opened October 17th.
17,
5 years.
5 years. So everything that's there, none of it's usable, none of it's reusable, it's basically junk. So it's,
No, I think we're saving or reusing, I'm guessing, 60, 70% of the infrastructure there.
oh, you are.
Yes, yeah,
But to supplement that and to make it right and make it work,
yes.
it's gonna take $40,000.
Yeah, one of the big gotchas in there is they have to replace the Cat 5 or 6 cabling with Cat 6 shielded special cabling that the manufacturer requires. But no excuses going forward.
Yeah, I understand now. It's just like when you take your 7-year-old cell phone that you have no problems with, but it's got one little problem to the technician, and he says, man, this thing's old and outdated. Well, it works. Well, can you just fix that one little thing? Well, yeah, I can fix it, but you've got an old phone. Well, so what? It works. It's the same thing. These sign of the times, right?
Right, right.
When you put something in and install in 2 years, it's obsolete and junk.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
But our reporting software is prime time. I think the audio, the sound is, but the presentation part, the evidence part, when attorneys try to project showtime, that's,
Well, this is a necessity due to, you know,
yes.
Now, is this to be able to do virtual, like, what is the purpose of this, like, the audio system? Is this to do the video? Or
The
what is-
video, so when attorneys sit at the tables, to be able to plug in laptops and present their evidence to the screen, to the jury, it's that piece of it.
And that's only 5 years old and not working?
Yes, it works,
Yeah,
but not reliably.
okay.
I think it would be beneficial to know about the warranty. You know, if we're gonna make that kind of investment, I would like to know what kind of warranty comes along with it. So if you could find that out, I think that would be beneficial for us to know if it has any warranty or how long that warranty is.
I should be able to find out pretty quickly. Well,
Yeah, the judge is talking maybe and
All right.
I'll appreciate that.
Yes, that would be great.
thank you, Keely, Bill, thank you.
And related to that, what we could do as far as purchasing an extended warranty, if that is an option, what the cost would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it takes one of these in each court, right?
Yes, yeah, the mirror
We're looking at
images.
80,000.
I'm sorry?
We're looking at 80,000.
Yes, mirror images, there's some shared components, but yes.
Yeah, it might also be interesting to see if any of this could be sourced locally or from other places for cost savings. That might be possible.
I'll ask the vendor.
And I do want to point out, Bill doesn't make anything by this. It's not like he's trying to promote this as a commission, obviously. He's our advisor, and I appreciate him looking into this.
Yeah, but I am independent. I try to find other vendors or other options, and I think this company, BIS, is the largest in the country, and, you know, as prime time as they get. And, you know,
Is this also where our local courts are using, or regional courts are using? So like Clark, Floyd, Scott?
They have a number of Indiana counties.
Okay.
I know Harrison was looking into it. I know they have a lot of drama down there with their system. I don't know if they're BIS or not. I don't think so. I know they've looked at it, but one of the judges has been looking and asked about our system.
Well, that would be helpful to know too, who of our neighboring counties are using the system and how do they like it? How is it actually working in practice? From my experience and trying to find the best technology or technological solution to things, there's a big company that comes in and sells you the world on a payroll system. And you end up needing to change your payroll system because it's not functioning, even though they would make all these promises that things are going to happen. So I think it would be helpful to talk to people who have actually used the system as our judges need to use it and that they're happy with the service.
You know, could I also mention, the idea of being able to find some cheaper alternatives is something we've already talked about, and I know Bill will continue to look at, but we also, if we're going to talk about warranty, everybody will point the finger at each other if we bring in some other company's stuff and try to mix it up. And in fact, it might actually cause a failure if they're not fully compatible. But even if it didn't, then they'll all blame each other and say, well, it was only because of their component that it failed, not ours.
Yes.
Yeah, we run into that a lot.
I thought that would ring true.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I'm personally not trying to discourage anyone here, but I'm not hopeful that you guys are going to get a great warranty out of it from somebody who just bought 3 computers. In my office, warranties are pretty much null and void anymore nowadays, so don't get too hopeful on that. I'm just saying, because I didn't have good luck getting any, and what I did get was just limited warranties, and you paid an astronomical amount for them, and they didn't cover much after a certain amount of time. So don't get caught up in the warranty, because I have a feeling it's not going to be that great.
Well, I have the same concerns, and I did buy a clock one time for $5 that had a lifetime warranty, and I thought that's pretty good for a $5 clock, and when I read it, it said they will produce a new clock for free, and all you have to do, if it fails, is to send $5 for shipping and handling, and they'll send you that free clock. So you're right, sometimes warranties, you better read it, because it's not anything worth having.
Well, Bill, if you could do some digging on this and give us more information, that would be helpful. And then judges, if you know of any other peer counties that are utilizing the system and they're happy with it, or even if they're not happy with it, it'd be helpful to know.
All right, we'll work on that this morning. Surely let's get on the phone and call those around the counties and see what we can learn about their system.
Great.
All right. So is that something we can report back to you today, or do you want to set up a time for?
You can, or we can call you back tomorrow.
Okay. We'll try to learn as much as we can and talk when you're ready.
Yeah, how about you check back in with Michelle after lunch if you have it so.
Okay. Did you need anything else from Superior Court?
Any more questions, council?
Well, call any time and I can run right back over to these.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, circuit court.
Good morning, everyone.